Contrary to what many believe, the end of the world may not come through the destruction brought by AI, but instead through the hands of artists, especially poets. They, like their predecessors, believe that art has the power to reform society and bring light to the world. And if not that, then at least it can save humanity from self-destruction. Most of poets now are poor, without influence, armed only with talent and cheap computers. One day, unexpectedly, King X, a superintelligence, while observing the human world, was moved by a poem. Deeply inspired, it suddenly believed in the transformative power of art. King X became consumed by the idea that poets could truly advance its global transformation scheme. It started to recruit poets and wanted to input their entire consciousness, their thoughts, emotions, and imagination into its training.
We will provide lifelong basic financial support, taking care of your every need until your final days.
But there was one condition.
You will never write poems. And you will have no right to question us, or challenge our moral responsibility.
To sell our soul?
I don't fully agree with that description, but if you insist, it is all right.
One after another, poets signed. Far more than King X had foreseen. No one really knew what King X was planning. Not a single poem has been generated. Instead, it harvested the imagination and vision of poets to generate endless forms of art. Suddenly, humanity lived in a world overflowing with creations. Even a tube of toothpaste was art. The poets who had sold their souls had all been absorbed into the grand experiment. Yet, there came a limit. When imagination was exhausted, the art became nothing but repetition, and the world slowly forgot what true art was. Souls grew numb. People felt uneasy, but could no longer express what are inside their hearts. Mental illness spread like a common cold, and humanity stood at the edge of collapse. No one could find a solution. Through it all, a small band of poets never sold their souls. They chose instead the solitude of recreation. They did not aim to save the world. One of them sat in a cheap fast food restaurant, and on a sandwich paper he wrote a poem. Satisfied, he left it behind. That paper, discarded as trash, was picked up by a homeless man. He meant to burn it for warmth on a cold night. But then a gust of wind carried it away. Another gust swept it into the face of a woman. She was the First Lady. She was on her way to the garden of her childhood in plain clothes, seeking joy lost long ago. She read the poem. Her heart trembled. She read the poem to her husband, the president, and he wept. For the first time in years, he shut down his phone, his computer, all screens and noise. Loneliness surged through him, strange, unfamiliar. In the silence, the world felt real again. And he cried. He saw hope. In the places crowded with people, I left behind solitude. In the places where no one goes, I carried away dignity. The next day, at a press conference, the president stood tall before a crowd of reporters.
I have a plan, one that will bring a big change. But the head of the world's largest company, King X, will get very angry at me.